for Financial Focus with Steve Budin. He joins us this morning to talk about a number of things.
Yes.
This is interesting because there's a lot of the topics we're going to talk about today are good news mixed with bad news.
It is. And last Friday, the United States gross domestic product number came out, which is a measure of how the economy is doing. And for the most part, it was flat, less than 1% annual growth. And that just doesn't get the job done. And part of it, I think, comes from this consumer income spending report that we got this morning, where the average American income went up just a fraction last year, but the amount that they spent was a little bit less. So this is where the good news, bad news comes in. The good news is people are making a little bit more money. They're saving a little bit more money, which is a good thing. On the other hand, they're not spending as much, and the economy needs people to spend to keep growing. So on an individualized basis, we tell our clients, you never want to spend more than you have, right? But the economy itself actually does better when people spend more money. So it's a good news, bad news scenario right now.
Yeah, it's interesting because, when a lot of people lost their jobs and things, It was like we were all like, well, we need to save money.
Right. That's right.
Put money aside in case of an emergency. So now we're doing that, but it's not good for the economy.
That's right. And it's good for the economy long run because
Right.
if you save money, you can buy maybe a bigger car or a bigger house or more items down the line. But if you're not spending it today, it has impacts on the data, and you're seeing that.
All right. So the construction numbers are flat, too. So what
Yep.
does that mean? How are we doing for the economy there? Just kind of steady?
Yeah, and it's slow but steady. Construction was fairly flat, and construction is a fairly large, big-ticket item part of our economy, and it just reflects the fact that 0.7% growth is just not getting the job done. So jobs are just not being started as much as they were last year, and these construction jobs tend to be long-term. They're not one-week type of jobs. They're 12 to 18 months. So when you see the construction numbers slow, it just generally slows the economic numbers. And the Federal Reserve commented on this morning, as a matter of fact, and it's something they're keeping their eye on to determine if and when they would raise interest rates coming down the pike.
All right. Let's talk Chipotle now. It just came down that they were actually cleared.
That's right.
What a headache for them,
That's
the
right.
E. coli, and for all the people that got sick, too.
Right.
So do you think that people will return to this restaurant? It's so popular, especially here in Las Vegas.
It is, and from both an investment and a just consumer perspective, what will happen with Chipotle is a $64,000 guest. More and more folks were going to McDonald's, actually, with this Chipotle issue. McDonald's stock at an all-time high today, as a matter of fact. So the question becomes, can Chipotle get their customers back? Survey after survey was showing that they have a very loyal customer base, and most of the folks really were not affected. But what concerns me about the CDC report is they still didn't have a cause. They just said, we're closing the investigation. So
Right.
nobody really knows what happened. Could it happen again? And, if you're looking to make an investment, this is the wild card, right? Do you buy the stock? Do you not buy the stock? You just don't know because the uncertainty is so high.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that just still go and don't even think about it, but
Right.
others go, I'm not touching that place anymore.
That's
so
right.
it'll be interesting to see how business does.
Will you go back?
I don't think so.
Right, see, so it depends. I mean, I love Chipotle. I
Yeah.
didn't stop going, but
Right.
it just depends on what you think.
To each their own, right?
That's right.
Thanks, Steve. We're going to take a break and we'll be back after this.